Hello there, I'm Ann-Marie Powell and welcome to my garden. Today I'm going to be talking to you about compost and also setting up a compost bin of my own. So if you want some tips and tricks, you've come to the right place. So I've got a little compost bin here myself. I really like it. It's a timber structure. It took me about 30 minutes to put together, and I've put it at the bottom of my garden in a sunny spot to make sure that the sunshine really warms it up. One of the secrets of good compost and compost fast is heat. So I really like this little bin here because it's a great little thing, because you've got these slats which you can take out, which means that I can get my wheelbarrow in when the compost is ready to harvest. And it also means if I take these slats out, then I can get in there and turn the heap over. And getting some air into this decomposing material is a wonderful way to make that compost just decompose that bit quicker. Now I'm going to grab a fork rather. I'm going to grab a fork and I'm just going to turn over the bottom of this open ground. And what that means is, having it open, the earthworms can get in and start working through and up into my compost material and start their magic. So what would you put into your compost bin? Well, the ideal is a balance of 50% of brown waste to 50% of green. Now, the brown waste is things that you might chuck into your recycling bin usually. It's things like ripped up cardboard, newspapers, old letters, junk mail, but nothing too glossy. The chemicals can be a little tricky for the garden. And then don't forget about things like garden waste. So leaves are really good as brown material, and also finely chopped up branch clippings. So nothing too big, nothing bigger than a pencil. For green waste, well, for me, that really does start in the kitchen. I think about vegetable peelings, old eggshells, biodegradable tea bags, anything that's uncooked can come straight out here. You can mix it in with garden green waste, and that's things like grass clippings, super high in nutrients and nitrogen, and they will help the heap to rot down quicker, but not on their own. You can also put things like annual weeds in there, and every time you put one, like the brown waste, then try and kind of add the same amount of the green waste. So some hints and tips and tricks. Lots of people wonder whether they should cover their bin, and that's a super good idea if you want to. So an old piece of carpet or a bit of tarpaulin will just put a lid onto your compost heap and keep the heat in. The hotter the bin, the quicker you will get compost. But if you don't have anything lying around, don't worry, it will just take longer for the heap to decompose and give you compost. A good tip is every time you add some kitchen scraps, just put them in a bit of newspaper. You just wrap them in the newspaper, and then those can go straight into the compost bin. People think about turning the heap, and that's a really good idea to get the air in, which will also help decomposition. Try to aim to do it, if you feel like it again, about every 4 to 6 weeks, and you will get compost faster. Rats, I know, are a big concern for people. The thing is, if you are using your compost bin regularly, they don't like to be disturbed, so you might not have that kind of a problem. If you're still concerned, you can always line your heap with some fine grade chicken wire down the sides and along the bottom, and hopefully that will help. The other thing people are bothered by is flies. Now, flies indicate that your heap might be a bit too damp, so add some more of your brown material just to create that balance. And the same is true of a dry bin. If it feels rather dry, add some more green waste. Now, there are lots of reasons to compost. Not only is it cheap and it's good for your garden, but it's really brilliant for the environment. The perfect way to reduce, reuse and recycle. So get out there and start off a compost bin for yourself if you feel the urge. But I do warn you, it is super addictive. Happy composting, everybody.